As we march towards Election Day, we can tell you that as of yesterday, nearly 40 million people have already voted. We expect the total early vote turnout to be 50 million by Tuesday. And there are strong indications this weekend that the Hispanic vote is up sharply in places like Las Vegas and along the critical I-4 corridor of Florida. That, of course, would be very good news for Hillary Clinton. And joining me now is the chairman of the Clinton campaign, John Podesta. Mr. Podesta, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Good to be with you, Chuck.
I talked about the good news for you on Hispanic turnout, but you are having some struggles with African-American turnout. We've seen indications, North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio, Michigan, that all that turnout among African-Americans is down in the early vote. I'll put up a North Carolina stat here that shows it down almost 6 percentage points from the turnout in 2012. Why do you think you're having trouble motivating the African-American vote?
Well, look, all the way through the primaries, African-American voters came out for Hillary Clinton. We expect that again now, and we're working very hard to make sure that happens. She is campaigning across the country in African-American communities. We've had the president out for us. You know, you're comparing us against a first African-American president running for re-election, but we think we can hit those numbers, and the president's helping us do that. But we built a different kind of coalition and a bigger coalition. You mentioned the historic Hispanic turnout that we're seeing in Florida, in Nevada, where we feel very, very good. Obviously, a lot more work to do between now and Tuesday. We've had college-educated women voting in higher numbers, voting for her in higher numbers. Asian Americans voting disproportionately, so we're feeling very solid going into this last weekend, but there's a tremendous amount of work to do.
You brought up the president. I want to play for you a clip of an interview he did with Reverend Sharpton about motivating African-American voters to the polls. Take a listen.
Michelle and I, we talk over the dinner table. We explain to our daughters, you know, not everything's supposed to be inspiring. Sometimes you just do what you have to do, and one of the things you got to do right now is to make sure to vote for Hillary Clinton.
It's not a hope and change election. I assume you would like the president to come up with another rationale other than not everything's supposed to be inspiring?
Look, we're on the ballot on Tuesday, on the ballot in these early votes, is what kind of country we're going to be. And as the president has crisscrossed the country on our behalf, he's laid that challenge to the voters on the line. What kind of country are we going to be? Are we going to build people up, or are we going to tear them down? Are we going to run a campaign of division and bigotry as Donald Trump has done, or are we going to run a campaign of inclusion and solving our problems and making the right investments for people as Hillary Clinton has proposed? She's done that all her life. That's what the cause of her life has been, is to fight for family and children, and that's what we think that voters who are now, I think, with enthusiasm coming out and voting for her will do. You know, Chuck, we have 1 million volunteers. We did 7 million voter contacts yesterday alone. Yeah. That's the kind of enthusiasm I think that she's been able to demonstrate.
What's happening in Michigan? How concerned are you? We saw the Iowa poll numbers. You're clearly behind in Iowa. Likely that's the one blue state for sure that Trump is going to flip. But Michigan, obviously you're taking it seriously by sending both Secretary Clinton and the president up there.
Look, if we hold on to Nevada, we hold on to Michigan, you know, then Hillary Clinton's going to be the next president of the United States. Most people vote on Election Day in Michigan, so our schedule has been oriented to being in the early vote states in the earlier period of time. Now we're going to Michigan, to New Hampshire, to Pennsylvania, where they do it the old-fashioned way. Everybody votes on Election Day. We feel like we got a lead in Michigan. We want to hold on to it, and we think we can do that.
Tim Kaine yesterday in an interview said people within the FBI are actively working to try to help the Trump campaign. Do you believe the entire FBI announcement has both been a benefit to the Trump campaign and that there are forces in the FBI that are actively working against your candidacy?
Look, I think what Mr. Comey did, just 9 days ago was a mistake. I think it broke with precedent. I think it was criticized roundly by Democrats and Republicans, including two former deputy attorney generals who served with him in the Bush administration. I think it was a mistake. I think what
Is it a mistake that should lead to resignation? Is it a mistake that should lead to
I've never
resignation?
questioned his motivation. I've just said it was a mistake. It broke with precedent. There's a reason for that policy. It looked like that it was interfering in the election. I think the leaks that have been ongoing, which was what Tim was referring to, is worrisome. But I think the men and women of the FBI are doing a tremendous job out here across the country. But the leakers should shut up.
Let me ask you just a final question about WikiLeaks. I don't think anybody feels as if it had be exposed the way your personal and private messages have been exposed. Explain what this has been like.
You mean at a personal level?
Yes, sir.
I've got a pretty thick skin, Chuck. So what I've worried about is to make sure that this is an unprecedented situation where a foreign power hacked my emails as working with WikiLeaks and Julian Assange to dribble them out in order to maximize the damage to Hillary and to maximize the help to Donald Trump, who's adopted essentially Russian foreign policy and rejected bipartisan U.S. foreign policy. So it's kind of an unprecedented circumstance, but look, my job is to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make sure that those volunteers are on the doors, on the phones, and that's what we're going to do to win this election.
John Podesta, campaign chair for the Hillary Clinton campaign. That's all the time I have. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chuck.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.